Hi friends, it's Barbie day. I'm seeing Barbie today. Clearly, I'm not ready. She's ashamed. She's embarrassed, truly. Basically, I wanted to do a little vlog of today. I realized that review formats, when I just sit here and talk, not my favorite thing in the world. So I want to make reviews more charismatic, more, I don't know what the word is, but just like not stale. To quote Ryan Trahan, the penny man himself, we have a game plan today. The Barbie screening game plan is 1, going to get ready on my lunch break. I need to get gas in my car. We're going to shower and do hair and makeup. I do need to iron my skirt. And then we will leave to head to the theater, and I am planning to meet my best friend Natalie. We're gonna try to get some type of dinner. That's the game plan. Then we're good. Then we're ready to see Barbie. I've been hearing, as most people have, about this movie for years. And there was a period of time when it was supposed to be Amy Schumer, and I was not really into the idea of it. I was just like, this is dumb. We're making adaptations of toys and blah, 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 blah. And then the minute Margot Robbie was cast, I was more interested. And then Ryan Gosling was cast. And then those early promotional images came out, like Ryan Gosling with the bleached hair and the denim jacket. All of this stuff got me insanely excited. And as can be seen by the $50 purchase I've made, do not worry, Cowgirl Barbie is going to be getting her own moment on the channel in a video that will be released next week. I can't contain my excitement for this movie. There is something so wonderful about getting to fully embrace the pink and the glitter and the satiric humor that I'm sure is going to be in this movie with Greta Gerwig's wit and her writing style. Everything that's come out about this movie has made me more and more and more excited. The fact that it caused a pink paint shortage, all of this stuff has me over the moon excited. But I think the thing that is the most exciting, which again, I go into a little bit more in the video that's going to be out next week, just getting to fully embrace the girlhood, feminine side of my childhood and things that were important to me then and things that I'm re-embracing now. And I can't believe it's today. I can't believe I'm seeing it. It feels surreal. It just feels, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And so I'm so happy to get to take you guys along with me. Okay. I just can't even right now, y'all. I can't. I loved that so unabashedly in every single way possible. I loved it. Well, I'm happy to report that Barbie was everything I wanted it to be and more. I would be hard-pressed to say this wasn't my most anticipated movie of the year. Not only was the movie itself exciting, the cast, Greta Gerwig being behind it, Noah Baumbach also contributing to the script, which if you've watched my screenwriters ranked list, they're both very, very up there. I was happy to walk out of the theater happy and excited and fulfilled. And then you add on to the whole Barbenheimer hype. It was inevitable that this was just going to be such a good feeling going to theater. And I will say, from a perspective of just a fan of movies, there's times when I feel especially doing reviews and stuff, it can sometimes start to weigh on you if you feel overly negative about films. It was just such an exciting feeling to go to the theater and feel the way energy and excitement for a movie and know a little bit about it but not everything, and just be there to enjoy myself fully and have been fully fed. Everything in the trailers that I liked, the laughs, the gags, the jokes, they hit for me almost twice as hard in the film as they did there. Now again, it really helps when you're in a really good energy theater, and I've now, since the movie, at the time of recording this, I've seen it twice. The first one was obviously, that was the pre-screening. Everybody was excited. The audience was absolutely packed. Everyone was just so psyched. The second one was at 10 p.m. on a Saturday after it released. Still good energy in the theater, but not the same level. I will say that Greta Gerwig's female characters, the way she has them speak and feel emotions, it's some of the best on-screen representations of real women. It's hard for me to look at any Greta Gerwig film and be oh, that's the character, that's me. There's little parts of every one of these characters. There's little elements of every single character that are distinct enough that I find myself relating to in some type of way. The most brilliant part for me about this movie is the way that it explores kind of the paradox of modern femininity or being a woman in today's day and age. It explores kind of the expectations, the hopes, the dreams, the failures, the shortcomings that every woman experiences putting on themselves, but also how that compounds with the expectations, the hopes, the dreams, the insecurities of society that are then placed onto women. The most insightful part of this movie for me is when we realize all of these things about how women feel about themselves and how society feels about women, and how those same things have been placed on a plastic doll. Those insecurities have been either said to be created from or exemplified by Barbie. All of our complexities we've put onto a thing that has like never been meant to be complex. It's just supposed to be fun and represent childhood and innocence and this excitement, yet the way that we live our lives as human beings, we put all of these things onto a doll that is only like a partial representation of women in the real world. It's like a tiny little sliver of like a mirror shining back on us. It's not the whole picture. Like Barbie was never meant to be like the ideal or the insult to real women. She's just Barbie. I think it's a really large task to ask a filmmaker and a crew and a cast to kind of try to capture this, but I think in a lot of ways this film does it. The one critique I think I will have, especially after seeing the movie a second time, there is one point in the film, it's pretty clear when it is if you've seen the film, involving America Ferrera's character. She talks about this contradictory nature of being a woman. The film was accomplishing what it set out to do in terms of message and tone. It was all right there. And then, although it feels good to hear her say the things, to have these thoughts and feelings come to a realization, to a head, verbally, intangible words, like have it actually put in a sentence rather than being this like concept, it does feel a little bit like they didn't trust that the audience was going to pick up on it. And so they were going to be like, here's a huge, like, let's just make this subtext really overt, like really obvious. Let's just say it explicitly. And especially because that's at the end of the film and it's not done through a more comedic way. It does feel a little bit like the film doesn't trust you to pick up on that message on its own. And especially when you're saying a film is targeted towards women, does that then kind of get you in the weeds a little bit of saying like, oh, you're not going to understand this, let's dump it on you. So I'll also say, and this is something that's like a very controversial opinion, but I've never been like the biggest Will Ferrell fan. And again, upon watching the film a second time, he's the least funny character. He feels like he doesn't have a point, and I'm not clear on, despite him being like this male CEO of Mattel, he flip-flops between seeming like this really corporate bad guy, like let's put Barbie in a box and like simplifying her to what she can be and make her back to being stereotypical Barbie in Barbie Land. But then he also doesn't want to like trap her. He doesn't like seem to be like kidnapping her. He doesn't seem to be all that antagonistic. Like he talks about getting into the business of toy making for the hopes and dreams of little girls and like helping inspire them. And it just feels, I'm just confused. I feel like a slightly more refined version of his character could have been more impactful to the film. Going back to more positive things, I do feel like the campiness and tone of humor and childlike imagination and wonder is really carried throughout this film, which is really impressive because knowing kind of the plot of the film that like Barbie's gonna have to go into the real world, I really was fearful that I was gonna get like really dark and serious and we weren't gonna be having fun anymore. Yet there's so many things that are just done in such a fun way, such as Barbie's kind of chase scene through the Mattel headquarters. It's done in such a way that feels so silly and fun, yet still gets the point of like what's happening. It's so good. Also, I mean, like the comically large twists on the back of the Barbie box that's shown at one point, that it has this like dual purpose of being like really campy, but like really delivering like this confinement and this fear for Barbie. And it's just, there's things like that are just done so well, even in the real world. And I really, really enjoyed that element of the film. Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, like what more is there to say other than these are two of the greatest actors of our time? They're so good. They're so funny. They clearly are so passionate about this film from everything I've seen in the press leading up to this. Both have such impeccable comedic timing, which I think both of them have been praised in the past a lot for their dramatic roles. Both have such impeccable comedic timing that makes them really fun to watch on screen and get to see them play these like silly, wacky, goofy characters. I think it takes actors of a certain caliber to be this campy intentionally and still have you resonate with them, get emotions from them, and like really like like you think you could just sub in a really stiff actor for that and it'd come across the same, but I just know that it wouldn't. I mean, most of the cast has really good comedic timing, but they specifically are just really wonderful. And then the Just Ken song, like, do I need to say more about it? Or do we all understand that that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a film? The commitment to goofiness in this film, while also still like having a point to what you're trying to say, is Greta Gerwig's greatest accomplishment in this film. Quite simply. I also will say I'm not here to spoil anything for you. Like, I want you to have your Barbie screening or your Barbenheimer, double feature, fully no spoilers. But I will say that there is a character in this film that had my jaw drop with excitement, with joy. Both times the people I was seeing the film with, we just looked at each other and I was so excited and over the moon. And it just made this movie, it was like the cherry on top of this like wonderful Sunday. And you'll know what it is. It's slightly narcissistic, but you'll know what it is if you've seen the movie. And then the last thing that I can't help, but it's the thing that has gotten me to absolutely sob about this movie both times I've seen it. There's a line at the end of the film, and again, I don't want to spoil anything, that just made me want to tell you guys to call your mom. Tell your mom that you love her, give her a hug, appreciate your mom. This movie has so many subtleties about mother-daughter relationships, how beautiful and complex that relationship is, and how it makes you into the person you are. It's just a beautiful thing, so just call your mom, okay? Just please, do it for me. That, guys, is my review of Barbie. Please let me know in the comments down below if you're seeing Barbie with Oppenheimer or without. I'm really just curious about everyone's Barbenheimer plans. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.